So this morning the girls and I are going to get in the truck, we're going to drive down to the creek for just a couple minutes, and we're going to look for some snapping turtles because we haven't had any yet this summer and would really like some to eat. So we're going to go take a drive. None yet, so we're just gonna have to keep our eyes open. But we're not gonna just sit here. I brought my fishing poles along too. I've got something, I'm not sure what it is. Hey, woo! Nice. He's not legal, but he's still nice. We'll have to throw him back. So, no turtles this morning. I think we got here a little too late. We either need to get here super early in the morning or just before dark at night. That's when the turtles are most active. But hey, it was a good time just to come and see what we could catch. We caught one fish, so hey, still better than staying home and doing nothing but work. So, we're gonna head back to the homestead.
Our most recent tomato harvest yielded 6 nice baskets of tomatoes. But when I brought them in the house, I put them in these boxes so that they could, for the most part, be single layer, so they wouldn't all like smush each other from the weight of all of the tomatoes. But there were so many Roma type tomatoes, so many paste tomatoes, that actually in their boxes, they're stacked like 2 or 3 high. These are a lot of tomatoes. So we need to get processing them. First we're going to process the paste tomatoes, and I'm going to use my big roaster to put them all in so that I can make sauce out of them. First we will skin them and then chop them up a little bit and then put them in there to break down, heat up, and to evaporate some of the moisture in there. Then we will move on to these slicing tomatoes. We're going to dice most of them and can them diced. So we need to get going because this is a ton of work. The whole family came together and we processed all of those tomatoes, at least to a point that I can can them. The first thing that we did was skin and dice all of those Roma tomatoes, and I actually decided to put them in my roaster so they could cook out some of the moisture over a long period of time. So in my roaster back here, all of the tomatoes went in here, but there were so many that I also had to pull out my crock pot and put some in my crock pot. So overnight and all day yesterday they cooked and cooked down, and now they're to the point where I can blend them up with my immersion blender and get them into my canners. For the diced tomatoes, I figured out that I only needed 14 more quarts of diced tomatoes in order to get up to our goal of having 50 quarts of diced tomatoes for the rest of the year. So we diced them all up, we skinned them, then we diced them up and put them in these quart jars, and I processed them. The rest of the slicing tomatoes we have juiced, and so today I will also be processing in the canner tomato juice. couldn't be happier about how many tomatoes our garden has produced this year, how much food we were able to put up with those tomatoes. We just feel so blessed. A few of our pumpkins are ready to come off of the vine. One of the varieties that we planted is one of the hull-less seed pumpkins. That's really why I planted this variety. Also because it's a bush plant rather than a vining plant, and so we were hoping that it would just kind of stay in one area. This variety doesn't get completely orange when it's ripe, so it's kind of striped orange and green. But just to be safe, I'm gonna harvest this with as much of the stem as I can so that it'll ripen well, and to prevent any kind of disease or bacteria from getting down inside of the pumpkin. So I think I have three of these to harvest today. Poblanos.
Blah, blah, blah. This year we decided to grow our own Tabasco peppers, and they're doing really well, but this is the very first one that has gotten ripe. Our plan with these is to ferment our own Tabasco sauce. I personally love Tabasco sauce, but we've never grown Tabasco peppers. But Sarah's kind of dared me to try this on camera, so I thought I'd try it. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if they're like extremely hot or not that hot at all. So here goes. I kind of feel like a little kid.
I thought you'd pop the whole thing in your mouth.
It's spicy. It's not horrible. It's spicier than a jalapeno. Try another bite. I didn't get very far into it.
It's a tiny pepper. Just pop the whole thing in your mouth. Nah-ah. You're a faker.
I am not. I got seeds that. That's hot. It's really hot. Alright, I need to go get something to eat.
Well, we had a nice harvest today. You know, things are wrapping up in the garden as far as tomatoes go, and we probably think the tomatoes will be stopping. We'll be done with the tomatoes by the end of this week anyway, done harvesting. We'll probably pull everything into the house and take care of them. So now it's time for us to start concentrating on some of the peppers. We've left the peppers mostly on the plants because as long as they're on there, they'll be relatively safe. They'll continue growing. They may ripen more and turn red, But if I pick them and bring them into the house, then I'm really kind of under a time constraint to get them processed. And all of our energy and preserving time has been taken up by tomatoes. So now we can start harvesting some of our peppers. Today we did a large harvest of green peppers, and I'll tell you that this is a fantastic harvest. 3 nice big boxes full of really nice sized green peppers. These are the Emerald Giant variety. The seeds are from Baker Creek. I'm very pleased with these. Last year I grew the California Wonder and they didn't do this well at all. So as a family, we will be dicing all of these, and we actually freeze these. So I can just pull out a freezer bag, use what I need, and then put the rest back. And we're really hoping to get a whole year's supply of green peppers from these plants that we have planted. Over here in front of me, we have a nice harvest of Poblano peppers. And I actually dry these peppers to powder them to go into my chili powder and taco seasoning and other kind of Mexican blends that I'll be using throughout the year. Back here are some paprika peppers. I'll be drying these as well and turning these into paprika powder. Some of the cayennes are coming ripe and red. I've been actually dehydrating these throughout the summer because they're small and don't take up too much space in my dehydrator. Some okra. We'll probably have fried okra again coming up soon. In the basket is a nice, another basket of green beans. And I guess beyond that are these 3 pumpkins that we harvested, which have the hull-less pumpkin seeds inside, which I'm really excited to start experimenting with. Well, it has been a great family harvesting day today on the homestead, and we really appreciate that you stopped by. If you're not a subscriber yet, right now is a perfect time to hit the subscribe button below. And before you go, don't forget to share this video on all your social media and hit that notification bell. Until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.